Good evening, I'm Sneha Koshi. Rishi Sunak has taken over as UK's youngest Prime Minister and has already begun work amid the ongoing economic crisis. A string of members of Liz Truss's team of ministers were asked to step down and some crucial appointments made. Dominic Raab, who was the Deputy Prime Minister for former Prime Minister Boris Johnson, will be Sunak's Deputy PM as well. Indian origin Suella Braverman, who had quit from Liz Truss cabinet, is back in the team now as Sunak's Home Secretary, and Jeremy Hunt is retained as a Finance Minister.
Rishi Sunak is now officially the Prime Minister of Britain, the first Indian origin Prime Minister, the first British Asian Prime Minister for Britain, the youngest Prime Minister in over 200 years. Minutes after meeting the King and taking over at number 10 Downing Street, Sunak tried to reassure a nation battling political instability and a cost of living crisis.
Some mistakes were made, not born of ill will or bad intentions. Quite the opposite, in fact. But mistakes nonetheless. And I have been elected as leader of my party and your Prime Minister, in part, to fix them. But you saw me during COVID doing everything I could to protect people and businesses with schemes like furlough. There are always limits, more so now than ever. But I promise you this, I will bring that same compassion to the challenges we face today.
And whether it's the United Kingdom or just today, we've got news that Rishi Sunak is now the Prime Minister. As my brother would say, go figure. And the Conservative Party expected to become the Prime Minister, I think, tomorrow when he goes to see the King. Pretty astounding. A groundbreaking milestone, and it matters. It matters.
Rishi Sunak's ethnicity and background became only a matter of fact after he took over. He spoke as if he were at work to fix the many issues ailing Britain.
I will deliver on its promise. A stronger NHS, better schools, safer streets, control of our borders, protecting our environment, supporting our armed forces, levelling up and building an economy that embraces the opportunities of Brexit, where businesses invest, innovate and create jobs.
Rishi takes over from Liz Truss, who resigned last week after multiple decisions, including the controversial mini-budget, backfired. The ruling Conservative Party went into an emergency mode to find another Prime Minister. Over half the 357 Tory MPs backed Rishi Sunak. Choose cabinet ministers among the thoroughly divided Conservatives, reviving Britain's economy and controlling double-digit inflation, steering funds to the National Health Service to keep it going, reinstallation of trust among industries and businesses, resisting pressure from the opposing Labour for an early election.
And I've seen how bright he is, how he listens, how he collaborates with business, but he's got a huge challenge as Prime Minister now with a looming recession. And most importantly, he's got to unite his party, he's got to unite this country.
The Indian community forms the single largest ethnic minority group in Britain, contributing greatly to business and trade. There is a sense of pride, but there is a greater sense of anticipation to see Rishi Sunak perform. He doesn't inherit a healthy economy, he doesn't have all friends in his party, and he certainly doesn't have much time as Prime Minister of Britain. Radhika Iyer in London from 10 Downing, NDTV.
And Radhika Iyer joins us for more on this. So Radhika, a lot of critical decisions already being made, and you also have someone who quit from Liz Truss's team back in Rishi Sunak's team.
Yes, that's correct. He clearly is bringing back people he trusts as Prime Minister. Interestingly, Suella Braverman was somebody who was in the race, and she debated against Rishi Sunak, tried to get that post of the Prime Minister, but of course fell down after she didn't gather much votes and so backed out. So interestingly, Rishi has brought back Dominic Raab. He's kept Jeremy Hunt. So he's had a very eventful and a very busy afternoon. And some are no surprises at all, because we knew that Rishi was going to get back Dominic Raab, because with Boris Johnson in power as Prime Minister, Dominic Raab and Rishi worked very closely together during the COVID pandemic. So given all of these factors, clearly Rishi knows what perhaps he's doing. He's brought in some favourites, he's brought in some new people. Suella Braverman's choice has not gone down very well with the Indian community, because Suella Braverman as Home Secretary had made a remark about the illegal immigration and that the Indians have the highest numbers of them. Of course, she was stating some facts and some of her numbers are quite accurate. However, the tone and tenor with which she spoke wasn't something that the Indian community took very well. So she comes back, and Sunak now has a free trade agreement that he is going to negotiate, or his government is going to negotiate with India. So all eyes on that as well. But for Sunak, one observation I picked up from the ground, Sneha, is that for people here, even of Indian origin, it doesn't matter anymore that he is of Indian origin or what ethnicity he comes from. He is the Prime Minister of Britain. Britain is is dealing with multiple issues at the moment, and Rishi is at work as Prime Minister.
Thank you so much, Radhika. Important point there. And of course, taking over as the UK's youngest Prime Minister, he no longer is just about being an Indian origin leader, but definitely a very, very tough task cut out in front of him. Thank you, Radhika. We'll keep coming back to you for more on this. And moving on, the lethal air pollutant PM 2.5 is 60 times higher in Delhi, even though the air quality index has improved. But sadly, only from very poor quality category to poor category after Diwali. The PM 2.5 spike is as high as 700 to 900 in some parts of Delhi. These are some very, very difficult times in which we could be living in Delhi, and if things are not, steps are not taken, measures are not taken, it may get even more challenging. And it's not just Delhi, in fact. Several metros, Mumbai, Chennai, Jaipur, and many cities like Visakhapatnam are in poor category for the air quality index. In fact, staggering 70% of India is breathing bad. 121 cities out of 173 reported have bad air. Those are the staggering figures for India. Diwali or no Diwali, this is nothing short of SOS.
Most people were celebrating Diwali at their homes with their families. A family in Delhi's Dwarka has completely lost their entire home because of a rocket. Ma'am, आप हमें बता सकती हैं कि क्या हुआ? आप अपना नाम बता दीजिए और क्या हुआ दिवाली की रात?
जी, मेरा नाम वंदना है और दिवाली जैसे सबके लिए होती है, ऐसे मेरे लिए भी दिवाली बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट फेस्टिवल है, क्योंकि मैं हर साल बहुत अच्छे से दिवाली मनाती हूँ. कल भी मैं वैसे ही उत्साहित थी दिवाली मनाने के लिए. मैंने अपने घर को रंगोली से सजाया था, फूलों से मंदिर सजाया था. मैंने 13 साल मेरी शादी को हो गए. एक चीज़ मैंने बड़े प्यार से, बड़े सोच विचार से अपनी एक गृहस्थी की चीज़ मैंने बनाई थी. आज आपके सामने वो मलबे के रूप में तब्दील हो चुकी है. ये इतने कट्टे मलबा नहीं है, एक्चुअली ये मेरी गृहस्थी है, जिसमें मेरे बेटे का टेबल है. ये मेरे बेटे का टेबल है. उधर मेरा बेटा कंप्यूटर रख के अपना पढ़ाई करते थे. उनका पियानो है इसी में ही. ये मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि दिवाली के दिन मुझे ये देखना पड़ेगा. शायद जब भी दिवाली आए, या मुझे नहीं लगता आगे कुछ सालों तक ये दिन मैं भूल पाऊंगी. मेरे लिए बड़ा शॉकिंग दिन था. ये हमने शादी के 1 साल बाद पैसे जोड़ के दोनों ने मिलके लिया था. आज इसमें कुछ नहीं बचा है, आप देख सकते हैं. एसी, इन्वर्टर, फ्रिज, टीवी, लैपटॉप सब कुछ जल गया, कुछ नहीं बचा. यहाँ तक कि दीवारों की ईंटें दिखने लगी, इतना ज़्यादा आग थी. ये ईश्वर की कृपा रही कि पड़ोस में सब लोग बच गए. लोग और सरकार इस चीज़ को सीरियसली ले कि जो भी इतने कंजेस्टेड मतलब जितने पास वाले एरिया हैं उनमें बिल्कुल पूरी तरह से चीज़ें बैन होनी चाहिए. वहाँ पर पटाखे क्यों. और दूसरा, लोगों से कहना चाहूँगी कि प्लीज़ आप ये खुद ही समझिए कि इतने पास पास घर हैं, एक फुलझड़ी भी पूरे घरों को जला सकती है, तो रॉकेट तो बहुत दूसरी चीजें हैं।
Well, firecrackers, according to Delhi Minister, may have been on the decline, but despite the ban, they were clearly available, some at the tragic receiving end of it. Moving on, a teenager was found unconscious and covered in blood in Uttar Pradesh's Kannauj hours after she left home on Sunday. The police have registered a case of rape on a complaint by her family, but we have become a nation of gawkers who just look with zero empathy. A horrific and disturbing story is emerging through a series of videos where people refuse to take any action, just held on to their phones recording the distress. Alok Pandey reports.
A 13-year-old girl mysteriously showed up, seriously wounded and bleeding near a government guest house in Uttar Pradesh's Kannauj on Sunday. The police have registered a rape case, though a medical report is still not in. But the disturbing story is emerging through a series of videos. The worst of these clips shows the girl writhing in pain, apparently reaching out for help with her blood-soaked arms. As a group of men stand around her, filming her on phones. In the 25-second video, voices discuss whether the police have been alerted, but there is no attempt to help the girl. A second video, which also went viral, showed a policeman running to an auto rickshaw with the injured girl in his arms. Two CCTV cameras in the vicinity caught the girl walking with the man. The teen left home to exchange a piggy bank on Sunday afternoon and did not return for 5 hours, her uncle has said in an FIR. He allegedly took her to the guest house. With Mohammad Israel in Kannauj, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.